A massive club that was perpetually stuck in mid-table mediocrity, sometimes even flirting with relegation. The giants of the game saw them as an easy 3 points until a young manager named Diego El Cholo Simeone arrived. Under his command, the team was transformed. He instilled a warrior mentality, making players willing to die for the shirt on the pitch. He built a rock-solid backline and a lethal clinical attack. Suddenly, they were a match for Real Madrid and Barcelona and a terrifying prospect for any opponent in Europe. A team that once scrapped for survival was now fighting for the throne. This is the historic story of Atletico Madrid's transformation, with Simeone as the protagonist.
It all began in the 2011-12 season. The club's biggest stars, Aguero, Forlan and De Gea, had all departed. Even though they made solid signings like Radamel Falcao and Arda Turan, the problem at Atleti was never the players, it was the managerial revolving door. No one could stay in the hot seat for long. The manager at the time was Gregorio Manzano, a relatively low-profile coach whose biggest claim to fame was a Copa del Rey with Mallorca back in 2003. Results under Manzano were catastrophic. In the first 17 league games, they lost 7, including heavy defeats: 5-0 to Barca, 4-1 to Real, and 4-2 to Espanyol. Sitting in 11th place, the board sacked him immediately.
The big question was who could replace him. Then came the name Diego Simeone. He was a club legend, a cult hero who was part of the squad that won Atleti's last La Liga title in 1996. Simeone brought a massive personality and was adored by the fans. You could see the Simeone effect at his very first training session. The fans who had been booing and whistling the players just moments before erupted into a standing ovation the second El Cholo walked out. The players knew right then they weren't dealing with just another coach, they were dealing with a leader. Before we get to the next part of the story, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone already following along. If you're enjoying the journey so far and want to see more content like this, consider hitting that subscribe button and turning on notifications. It's the best way to support the channel and make sure you never miss a new upload. The team improved drastically. 2 things became clear. First, they played with an incredible spirit. Second, they became a defensive fortress. In Simeone's first 7 games, they kept 5 clean sheets. Even when they lost narrowly to Barca 2-1 and Real 4-1, they were no longer easy beats. They fought for every inch. They finished the season in 5th place, a massive jump from the 11th place spot where Simeone found them. Atleti had already reached the round of 32 in the Europa League before Simeone arrived. They faced a tough Lazio side. In the first leg in Italy, Miroslav Klose scored first, but Atleti stormed back to win 3-1. After a 1-0 win in the second leg, they brushed aside Besiktas 6-1 on aggregate and Hanover 4-2 on aggregate. In the semi-finals, they faced a dangerous Valencia. At the Vicente Calderón, the Colombian tiger Radamel Falcao put on a masterclass in a 4-2 win. They finished the job at the Mestalla with a 1-0 win. The final was an all-Spanish clash against Marcelo Bielsa's Athletic Bilbao. Falcao wasted no time, scoring in the 7th and 34th minutes. Diego Ribas added a third late on to seal a 3-0 victory. Simeone had his first trophy, and the board finally realized they had a manager they could build a long-term project around. Simeone stuck with his core squad for the 2012-13 season, with Koke, Arda Turan and Felipe Luis becoming pillars of the team. They kicked off the season by dismantling Chelsea in the UEFA Super Cup. Everyone expected Chelsea to win, but Falcao bagged a first-half hat-trick. Miranda added a 4th in a 4-1 rout. In the league, they were relentless, finishing third with 76 points and qualifying for the Champions League for the first time in years. But the real story was the Copa del Rey. After knocking out Getafe, Betis, and Sevilla, they faced Real Madrid in the final at the Santiago Bernabeu. The media wrote Atleti off, calling them an easy opponent for Mourinho's Real. The match was a war. Cristiano Ronaldo scored early, but Atleti dug in. Diego Costa equalized in the 34th minute. The game went to extra time, where Miranda headed home the winner. It was a bloodbath. Gabi and Ronaldo were both sent off, but Atleti won their first Copa in 16 years. Simeone had 3 trophies in just 2 seasons.
This was the season Atleti proved they belonged among the elite. Even after losing their talisman Falcao to Monaco, Simeone converted Diego Costa into a world-class striker and brought in the veteran David Villa. Running a disciplined 4-4-2, they relied on a legendary defense and lethal counterattacks. They won their first 8 league games, including a 1-0 win over Real at the Bernabeu. They were unstoppable, crushing Betis 5-0 and Getafe 7-0. It all came down to the final day, Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid at the Camp Nou. Atleti only needed a draw. They got it, clinching their first La Liga title since 1996. Simeone had won the league as both a player and a manager for the club. In the Champions League, they were giants. They knocked out Milan, Barcelona, and Chelsea to reach the final against Real Madrid. We've talked about this final a lot. Atleti led until the 92nd 48th mark when Sergio Ramos scored that header. Atleti collapsed in extra time, losing 4-1, but they earned the world's respect. Unlike one-season wonders like Leicester City, Atleti showed they were here to stay.
In 2014, the big fish came circling. Diego Costa, Felipe Luis, and Courtois all went to Chelsea. Most clubs would crumble, but Simeone simply reloaded. He brought in Antoine Griezmann, Mario Mandzukic, and a young keeper named Jan Oblak. 2015 won the Spanish Super Cup against Real and famously thrashed them 4-0 at the Calderón. Fernando Torres returned home. 2016, Felipe Luis returned. They finished just 3 points behind Barca in the league. In the CL, they knocked out holders Barca and Guardiola's Bayern. They reached the final, again against Real, but lost on penalties after a 1-1 draw. Simeone was arguably the best manager in the world that year, even without the trophy. In 2018, after a disappointing CL group stage exit, they dropped into the Europa League. They fought past Arsenal in the semis and dismantled Marseille 3-0 in the final. It was the perfect farewell for legends Gabi and Fernando Torres. After losing Griezmann and Rodri in 2019, Simeone pulled off a masterstroke in 2020, signing Luis Suarez from Barca for just €9 million after Ronald Koeman deemed him past it. 2021, a historic title charge. They led for most of the season. It came down to the wire, with Atleti needing comeback wins against Osasuna and Valladolid in the final weeks. They did it. Suarez scored 21 goals to prove everyone wrong, and Atleti were champions of Spain again. 2025 to 2026, the club recently invested heavily, bringing in Julian Alvarez, Conor Gallagher, and Alexander Sorloth. Last season, 24-25, they finished third. Current season, 2025-2026, things are looking great. The team is currently 4th in the league, in the Copa del Rey final and the Champions League quarterfinals. They recently hammered Real Madrid 5-2 in the league and humbled Barca 4-0 in the cup. Simeone has won 8 trophies with Atleti. He took a club that was a stepping stone for players and turned it into a destination. He brought the Madrid Derby back to life, turning it from a guaranteed real win into a box office clash. Whether you love his defensive style or hate it, Simeone is Atletico Madrid.
When he eventually leaves, there will be a massive void because he didn't just manage the team, he gave the club its soul back. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Let me know who I should cover next.